Warning. This show contains spoilers.
The intro's playing now.
We can see that. It's nice to have a show that I can see myself on. But we're calling it the Idiot Hour? I just feel bad with the morning.
Gluska, dude, I'll stay right here and play clarinet.
We'll get into all that in a future episode.
I actually have other shit to work with. Oh, Marsha, you may want to tune out. All right.
Nope, bring them all in. Damn, that video from Snapchat didn't
Ready?
save.
3, 2, you're live.
Get off your phone.
I figured I'd posted it right as we went live. How about that?
What is up, guys? Welcome back to a wonderful, wonderful episode of the Idiot Hour. I am Deke. You are Boyd.
I'm Boyd.
This is Boyd. We're from the opening. We're the emojis.
It's me. I'm
But
one,
we're missing one
Someone.
emoji.
Yeah, we are.
No, I didn't say it
Yo,
yet. All right, Josh, show yourself.
this is brutal. My hair looks terrible today.
Trash.
All right, I'm a trash can. I am my favorite mascot, Gritty.
Oh, man.
Boys, today.
Wow, it is. Look at audio input capture too when Josh talks.
Oh, man. What else is new?
Just it goes. It's like a screamo man front singer. Oh, he just deleted it.
He muted his mic.
Why did you kill yourself?
No, I didn't kill me. It was doubled up. That's all.
Oh, he
Okay.
doubled it.
Yeah.
Never double up.
Never double yoy.
Yoy, big yoy guy.
Gentlemen, the place is a world of mystery. In fact, we live in shrouded mystery every single day. For example, did you know that science cannot explain how someone riding a bike remains upright?
They can't?
There's no scientific explanation for it.
This is news to me.
Nope,
It's no matter.
it's not.
Science says
Google it. Other major
Gravity.
What if they never thought about momentum?
Gravity times momentum equals bike.
other major questions like how were the pyramids built?
Egyptians.
What lies at the bottom of the ocean? Give us reason to believe that it's not all as it seems. Today we will discuss a number of conspiracy theories. We will touch on the moon landing, lizard people, and even in 2 different sports conspiracies.
the way that real humans actually exist.
Maybe.
I don't even. Nothing will bring me down today because this is going to be my favorite episode of our entire.
Josh, because the Ivysaur situation last week. I'm not allowed to yell at him.
By the way, stupid sexy Lapras. Everybody I showed that to was dying laughing. So, more Simpsons references.
All day from me.
All right, so
I've seen the movie.
Oh,
That's it.
let's start with the moon landing, shall we?
Oh, baby. Oh, pull me in.
July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong took one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind as Apollo 11 landed on the moon.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Simpsons.
Almost from the second it happened, people have been attempting to prove it's a hoax. There's a lot of theories that attempt to prove why the landing is fake. The 3 we will cover today are a waving flag, the shadows going the wrong way, and why can't we see stars in the picture?
That's a really good point, Josh.
All right.
Stop moving. I'm trying to get you in your spot.
I was way over before.
Yeah, dude, he was
You
gone.
were in the moon landing intro, though.
Yeah, we weren't going to cut you off.
All right. Well, thank you.
Your hair
Okay.
looks
I'm
great.
So let's start
Wait.
with
Can
the
you-
shadows.
Can you run the? What are the main?
Waving flag, shadows.
And why can't you see the stars in the pictures? Which, Justin Boyd, professional photographer, not a big deal.
Those are the three. I'm gonna jam as many other ones in there because there's a lot.
So I also have a bunch
Okay, cool.
that we'll get to after.
Okay, that's good.
But yeah, let's just dig into these big 3 because these are the top 3 Google searched ones. That's why I went with
How
them.
about first off?
Yeah.
Why would we fake the moon landing?
Is that in part of your script already?
It's not, but it is an extra thing that I have marked down. It's hard to imagine that Russia would have let the USA win the moon race if they didn't actually go there, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a hard no way.
Yeah, that's always been my big thing. Like, I'm a big believer that we touched down. I feel like Russia would have been like, yo, they faking.
Yeah,
Like-
Russia would have called us immediately on that bullshit. Immediately. I
Unless-
think so.
Never mind. You go.
No, go ahead.
I think maybe it has to do with the Rocky movie.
Rocky?
Yeah. They're like, yo,
what?
if you give us a badass boxer dude, yeah, Rocky can still win. We won't tell everybody you didn't go to the moon. Rocky.
I hate you.
There's
That's
a whole nother conspiracy on the cover-up of a conspiracy.
Yeah.
I hate you so much.
This is
Run it out.
exactly what I was hoping for.
Run it back.
All right.
That was a
So the first thing, and I'm gonna pull this a little closer to mess with my head.
Do we have any
Okay.
comments?
There you go.
We do have some comments. Conspiracy theories, so relevant. Thanks, Denny.
I love Denny. I love my mom too.
Yeah,
your mom,
Marcia, if you thought
Great
Greg
woman.
ranting about Power Rangers was rough, you just buckle up, girl, because I'm nuts.
Hang on.
Yeah,
I'm nuts.
I'm literally insane.
Cracked, bro.
So the first thing everybody kind of points to is that the shadows in the moon landing don't make any sense, right?
Correct.
So in this image that's up on the screen, it looks like the source of light is coming from the upper left, yet the shadow is in front of the photographer. Boy, do you care to take a crack at why that is?
Well, so I'm a big moon landing hoax guy. I wrote a high school paper on it. 13
Yes.
pages.
Awesome. Double spaced?
No.
No?
not
You weren't
double
allowed
spaced.
to?
We weren't allowed in this class.
It was 1.5 max sometimes.
Yeah, and I don't even know if she was kind enough to give us that. Maybe. I'll say 1.5 just to make myself sound
I actually would like to write papers now.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, like I'm good at writing now.
Fuck that. Anyway, also being a big fan of Mythbusters, who I will have to get involved because I did watch this one. Because I'm a big.
I don't think I knew they did this.
Oh,
they
yeah.
did. I'm
They
a big
took-
believer.
they took this down.
Or at least was. I'm still kind of undecided, if I'm being honest. But
Mythbusters
what-
said it.
hey, man, Jamie fucking Heineman tells me something. Dang. Maybe more than likely it's true. And what they said was that the dynamic of the landscape of the moon, like how the plains were and the mountains and the rocks, give a false sort of sense that there's multiple light sources because of the way the shadows fall.
Correct.
I don't know how many different photos you may have of the
I have
shadows.
2, but the other one has to do with something completely different.
Okay. Well, that is an interesting thing to me because, like, as a photographer, I always with a controlled light, it seems that shadows always fall in the same direction.
Right.
Yes. On
But-
Earth.
But is the sun a controlled light source?
On
No.
Earth, too.
I don't control.
We don't know about
Right.
controlled light sources on
Right,
the moon.
exactly.
Yeah, we only know about Earth. So.
Absolutely. I think the other thing here, and this is kind of what really drives this conversation, is that it's not even. It looks even from the photos because everything's flat in a photo, right? But realistically, from this picture, apparently he's looking down on the rover.
Yeah.
He's almost like on a mountain.
Like a hillside or a mountain.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's how intense the topographic map of the moon is. So realistically, the shadows are, yes, they don't seem to match up, but it's very easily explained through that and the second reason. So this one, Boyd, he's in shadow,
Sure
yet
is.
he is perfectly lit.
Sure is.
What do you think what that's from?
So a lot. I mean, this was a big one for me when I was younger. But if you look at the actual lander,
Right.
like the reflective material of the lander, it's
Yep.
also just as well lit.
Right.
So, to me, I don't know if that's just how the suit is, or maybe it's the reflection also off of the.
Do you want me to make it bigger?
The
No,
moon
you're
itself.
good. I don't know. Am I
one to
crazy?
me, I used to be. This used to be a big thing for me, but more recently, this one kind of falls to the wayside for me.
Right.
He looks more
By the
dark.
wayside, shameless plug.
Big shout out.
Hey-o.
He looks more in shadow than the ground.
Correct. No. What part of the ground? The ground that
The
he's
ground,
standing
like
above.
the non-shadowy ground. I'm saying he doesn't look like all the suits I've seen are white. He looks gray, which doesn't look like the sun's hitting him directly.
Right.
And
It
we're
would
obviously
indicate
looking
he's
at
in
it on like
shadow.
a 20-inch monitor.
It's just how, I think where it comes from is just how harsh that shadow
Yeah.
looks right there. And you
Right.
would assume that it would just be, as one light source, it would be a direct and then everything in it should be shadow. But again,
I just didn't think there was
Boyd, can you
Photoshop.
explain to our viewers at home what a bounce card is?
a bounce card is a reflective material that bounces light.
The entire moon's surface apparently acted as a bounce card.
Exactly. Like I said, a reflective off the surface.
Exactly.
And that's why you get the moonlight. It's the moon.
Literally,
reflecting
it's
off-
reflecting the sunlight
So-
back to Earth. And you can tell, like especially on a clear night, how vibrant the moon
the
is.
moon produces no light. I'm
It's,
with you.
it's literally that bright that it can light up anything that is lit underneath a shadow. Like that's really how incredible space is in general.
Right.
But that's really something that shocked me. And it's something that if you don't do the research or you don't dive deeper than someone telling you, hey, why is he lit up? I would immediately go, oh, yeah, he's got a
Exactly.
flash on the camera. You know what I mean? Like there's something there.
And you got to think, when I was like really diving into this,
Right.
it was 2006 or 7.
Yeah, I was
Right,
gonna
there's
say,
no
this was
internet.
primed,
It's
yeah.
like there is, but it's like like YouTube isn't really like that poppin'. There's not like videos on YouTube. I
Right.
saw like a documentary on like Fox or something that
Right.
was like, did we really go to the moon?
So-
and I was like, fuck, did we?
Did we?
It's like
they
the
made
first
good.
time-
They made good arguments.
It's the first time in your life that you like something that is supposed to be set in stone might
Right.
be a lie. Like
Yeah.
we used to have this teacher that would be like, "Is China real?" And we're like, "Duh." And he's like, "Don't duh me. Like you've never been there." He's like, "It could literally be a fake thing in a magazine. Like maybe this is the only place you know. Maybe." And he just started going off.
What grade was that?
This was 11th.
Ooh.
11th grade astronomy. He was like, bro, like you could be in an alien experiment right now, and they've manipulated every part of your life, and you're just led to believe that this is what life is. I was like, shit. Well, that
Yes.
sucks.
The Matrix. Yes.
Yes.
I was like, man.
Can
was
I
like,
get,
if I- if
can
I
I get
got-
an Appley for this speech that you're giving? Do they
But-
make awards for
No,
Apple-related ads? An Appley?
Yeah.
That's a Rick and Morty reference.
It is.
Oh, I
Well,
missed
he
that.
was going.
Is that this
Yes.
season?
No, that's like season 1 and 2,
Okay.
maybe.
I'll have to look.
Yeah.
Anyways,
It's all the same episode.
you don't know shit until you've been there, so I
Yes.
don't know. It's tough.
Well,
So we're all in the simulation inside of a simulation, and we're all Jerry's.
I'm just saying, if I got picked to be the test subject, they're not learning much.
You're Jerry.
we're
Like
all
27 years, set
we're
up
all in
shitty
there.
content company.
27 years later, sets up content company to make his own
Scientists
clothing.
have been looking at me, and they're like, all right, so he's only bought one pair of his own sweatshirts, and no one else has. Okay, he's doing great.
Can we just plug that sweatshirt real quick now?
They're like, should we send
how
in
sick
$1 million
that is.
lottery win?
Look
No,
at
no,
that.
he's doing fine.
Look at
Oh,
ooh,
you didn't-
ooh,
I mean-
I'm so excited my microphone hit me in the face because it's so soft. Oh, wow.
my mom just ripped Boyd a new one, and Josh.
Oh, wow, what did I do?
As someone who watched the moon landing live, it's frustrating to hear you youngsters doubting this wonderful, amazing event.
I'm
There
not
it is,
doubting
boom,
it. I said
doubting
I
it.
used to doubt it, and I was just defending that photo. I didn't even get to the reasons that
But
make me
she
think.
doesn't. We're not allowed to attack Josh this episode,
All
so
right,
she
all right,
has
that's
to
fine.
bundle.
Did she say that?
No, but I yelled at you about Ivysaur, so I'm not allowed. I'm
No
not
one's
allowing anyone.
sensitive
No
Josh.
yelling at Josh.
I think-
Snowflake Josh over here
Snowflake.
does not need any.
I think that's
Attacks
fair
today.
until we get to the last subject.
All right.
All right. So one last thing, and this
last.
goes back to the bounce card of the moon. Hey, Boyd, how come there's no stars in the background?
Well, I would have to say because it's not. It's too bright on the moon for
Bingo.
the stars to be there to be
Right.
seen on a photo.
Yes.
However, there are some things about these photos, to me,
Okay.
The reflection.
not even the reflection. The fact that these guys had chest-mounted cameras. This is 1969.
You're like, that's a hell of an image.
That's a fucking great photo.
Yeah,
and
but did
there's
it-
a lot of great photos from a chest-mounted camera with no viewfinder, with no possible way. And granted, maybe they used them on Earth, but it's like, how do you know how to photograph on the moon with precise settings that you've never been in that environment before. That's like the type of thing that I
Right.
question.
That's
But
what I was
again,
going to ask. Is
I mean,
like
how
the
do you get to
quality.
1969? Like the computers took up fucking
Entire rooms.
Well, how long would it take you to Photoshop that image in 1969?
I'm not even talking about photoshopping. That's a darkroom doctor if you're fixing it. But I'm saying, like, in 1969, rooms computers filled rooms, and you're telling me 3 guys shot into the fucking stars,
Yes.
aimed themselves, did a loop around the moon, dropped a fucking lander, landed on the moon safely, then launched back up and reunited with that same fucking ship, came back,
Big swearing
landed here
episode for you,
safely.
huh?
It's
Big swearing
It's
episode.
just,
Yeah.
it's crazy to me, and I'm not doubting it. I'm just saying that that is remarkable.
No, it's beautiful.
Is it too remarkable?
Is birth too remarkable?
It's
Is
not that
this a new
amazing.
format? No, I don't
Natty!
think so. We're just talking about conspiracy
No,
theories
Natty
today.
hasn't seen the show yet.
Oh.
Natty is a
Natty,
big,
welcome,
Natty, what's
dude.
up, buddy?
You're
Natty is a
on
big
2
Two
Beers
Beers
Deep
Deep
all the
fan.
time.
This is
I'm
the
only
Idiot Hour,
one-
Natty. This
one
is
beer deep.
our pop culture and apparently giant conspiracy theory.
Experimental
Not
show.
as much about sports as everything else. Although I did weasel in two sports.
We have
weaseled
2
in
sports
some-
things today, yeah.
Nope,
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
a
yeah.
new show, Natty. So thank you for joining, buddy.
Thanks for being here.
Okay, so this is the last thing,
Yes.
and this is really the thing that messes with people. How come that flag's moving?
This is another one that I believe the Mythbusters took
Absolutely.
handle of. They put a flag into a vacuum chamber, and since there is no air or wind to blow the flag also at this time, the flag is being held out.
Manipulated.
Yeah, there is a pole like that goes
And it's
out from
not-
the flag that holds the flag down. What you're seeing is when they place the flag and they're putting it in the ground. Since there's no wind, the flag is, look how stagnant it is. I mean, it's not
It
really
looks
waving.
starch,
Yeah, exactly.
like stiff.
It's not what the tradition, like the 2 Beers Deep flag behind you.
Yeah,
It is not that
that's
material.
like canvas material.
It is a
right?
canvas
Yeah.
material. It's stiff because when they created the flag to plant on the moon, they said, well, we know that there's no wind. We know that it won't be stiff, so we have to make it stiff. So they made it out of this really thick material so that it would hang properly. But then they also put a rod across the top of it so that it's more of a drape. And really the pole is there as a familiar thing, more or less, that, oh, it's on a flagpole. They're sticking it in
and
the
to stab
ground.
it into the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
The only thing to this day, I believe, I'm trying to think, is there's video footage that they show of a couple astronauts. I don't even believe it's Apollo 11. I want to say it's maybe like 17. It was like a while after when they brought the
Yeah.
rovers.
Okay.
There's this clip where these 2 astronauts are like running along the moon's surface, and the one falls, like trips and falls, but kind of just catches and gets hung and then gets pulled back up. And it's like a very awkward movement. It's very weird. Obviously, I don't know what it's like on the moon, but to me, it looks like he's being pulled by a wire. And I'm not
Right.
like, no
Yeah.
bullshit. And then there's also another one
I like the
where-
disclaimer that I don't know what it's like on the moon.
I don't know.
but,
I don't know how
it's a-
gravity is on the moon.
it's a real disclaimer.
So,
Right.
and there's another shot where there's like, it almost looks like a light reflecting above an astronaut, like where a wire would hold them to simulate the, what is it, 3rd gravity? Oh, I'd love a comment. Let me hear it.
So, Patrick, just adding another conspiracy theory that Avril Lavigne is actually dead.
So that whole like celebrities are dead and replaced by clones is big in the rap industry right now.
Uh-huh.
Very big. And the whole like this person, I don't know. I don't dive too much into those and the simple fact that people die every day and it's like I don't really want to go out there and run through that one, but I've never heard the Avril Lavigne.
That
I've heard
really-
the Avril Lavigne.
that
I've
was
heard
one-
the Eminem.
Yeah.
There's been a few.
Neymar. Neymar's dead. Did you know that?
Allegedly.
Neymar Jr. Was replaced during a game.
So I'll tell you this right now. That one is adamantly false because unless you're telling me they either have a twin or a robot that plays the exact same way, because his play style has been the same since Santos. Like, to a T. Like, to the point where if he did something different, I would say, what is wrong with Neymar? His feet are the same exact way from when he was playing against professionals at 14. Avril Lavigne, totally different. Don't care about her.
Sounds like a no-brainer to me.
She's
Neymar,
wearing her tie a little looser than she used to. All right, so that's the
Eminem
moon
grew a
landing.
beard. Must be a clone.
It's weird.
Some other
Weird beard.
other throwaways here in the
Got a
moon
weird
landing.
beard.
The impact craters that the rover left. Why were they so shallow? Well, technically, lower amount of gravity on the moon is what kept the impact craters from being so deep. We already talked about the Russia thing. Technology in Hollywood was not capable of creating these illusions.
Allegedly.
And the last thing is the radiation exposure.
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
All right, dive into
The
that.
Van Allen radiation belts, baby. That was the biggest one for me, I think. That was the other one I was trying to remember. I'm glad you brought it up. Van Allen radiation belts, which lie. Oh man, do you have the?
I don't.
The miles.
I'm
I
so
wanna
sorry.
Say it's,
7 to like 10 miles.
No, I think it's like 500 miles above the Earth's
Worth a shot.
atmosphere. It might not even be that many. But every manned mission prior to the Apollo missions, the moon landing attempts, were below the Van Allen radiation belts. And what the Van Allen radiation belts were, or are, allegedly, I don't know,
Yeah.
I'm not space, not a science guy, are belts of radiation that you would need copious amounts of lead
Okay.
and protective materials to go through without any type of
Is
exposure.
this like the Fantastic? Or is it? No, not Fantastic Four.
Green Lantern?
Is it Green Lantern where they fly back through and they go through the? I mean, there's Jimmy Neutron did it where they came back
Ooh.
and they go through the gamma rays, and I know it's a little different than
Yeah,
radiation belt, but
essentially.
the
That's
radiation
what it's
belt,
referencing. Yeah.
So that is Fantastic Four.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And
yeah.
Jimmy Neutron. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
No, the fact that you
But-
go through it and it is something that a human body should never go through. So what they're doing at the time, they morph with. But I'm saying like that obviously all came from realistic space travel, those experimental understandings of comic books. So the lead thing is a real.
But then the Apollo shuttles that they used were all made of like aluminum. They didn't have any protective lead materials or anything such as that. And everyone that had passed through came back with no signs of any radiation or anything like that. So that's where a lot of people were like, did they actually go if they went through the radiation belts and nothing
Well,
happened?
do you, and like, obviously, we're not going to know the answer to this, so it's kind of a ridiculous question. But getting deep into it, we don't know so much shit that the government has that maybe they did have something in that ship.
Could be.
Maybe they had aliens back then, because we have a thing coming up about, Area
Yeah.
51. Like, that would be another level worth of crap, but...
I mean, we're able to take x-rays without giving people radiation, right?
Even though the doctors run away really fast.
They do
Put
run
and
away.
put a fucking lead shield on you, like a
Not a
bulletproof vest.
bulletproof explosion
But you know what I mean? Like, you never know.
But that's what
Just
I'm.
put that over your
You never
crotch,
know, yeah.
right.
So
Right.
like, and that was always a big one with me. And
Thanks, Daddy.
yeah, I don't know. I thought that
pinning
was
that
always
comment.
interesting.
that
So
one.
I just want to Patrick, I hope you're okay with me saying Pat, says that Avril Lavigne actually had someone trained to impersonate her to perform her shows because of how depressed she was.
After the lip sync thing.
Yeah. Well, no, that was...
Oh, that was Ashley Simpson.
That was Ashley
Is
Simpson.
there an Ashley
oh,
Simpson
man.
replacement?
Ashley Simpson.
Oh,
Whew. Anyway.
I can claim that spot back.
The pieces of me.
Felt too close. Pieces
and then,
of you.
yeah, Natty says every Liverpool player was replaced by a 99% rated EA Sports robot. There's no way they'll be winning all of this.
Mohamed Salah is 100% a robot.
I don't care as long as they win the league.
So yeah,
I
they
just
cheated.
don't care.
It's a bunch of robots, and the reason I'll say that is because all of those guys have had stints with other teams.
And they weren't
Nowhere
that good?
Nowhere near.
There's no
I
way that
refuse to believe.
Jurgen Klopp was the man that put it all together, right? There's
Since-
no way. There's no way.
Who fucked me on the soccer parlay?
Dennis.
Dennis, fuck you. If you're in here, fuck you.
He is.
I love you, Dennis. All right.
Just
next
kidding.
one.
I had the most faith in you. That's why.
Oh
that's why I
my
put
God.
money into it.
All right, next topic.
Do better next time.
Oh,
Oh yeah, baby.
this is the best one.
There is a conspiracy
I know nothing about
that
this.
in 1985 the NBA fixed the entry-level draft so the New York Knickerbockers would get Patrick Ewing.
They did.
He says New York Knickerbockers in the broadcast. It cracked me up. Like,
love
I
it.
laughed for 10 minutes.
I love it.
People believe, Jesus,
believe.
have another beer,
People
Josh.
believe.
People believe that the envelope that had the New York Knicks name was either frozen in dry ice or had been predeterminedly marked so that hang on, let me get this name right because I know I'm going to mess it up. It's gone on my paper.
Is it David Stern?
Thank you.
Wow.
Sleazy Stern.
R.I.P.
I thought it was going to be like Giannis Antetokounmpo or
Right.
something. Jeez.
No,
You have comments, by the way, but I don't want to throw you off.
Okay. In the 80s, the NBA nearly... Okay, wow. There it is. Here we go. Sorry, everyone. Therefore, when David Stern put his hand into the bin to draw the envelope, he could feel the cold envelope or was able to determine the marked envelope.
Yep.
The reasons is that the NBA knew that they needed the New York franchise to be successful to save their league. In the 80s, the NBA was nearly disbanded. In fact, in the 1984 season, they nearly shed 6 teams from their ranks in an attempt to populate teams with better talent. Most of the league was openly using drugs, and all of the league's reputation was terrible. There is also a rumor that Madison Square Garden ownership group threatened to kick the Knicks out of the Garden if they did not receive Ewing in the draft.
Yeah, no, this one's 100% real.
I love this one.
So let's before we dive into this.
Dennis.
Okay, what's he saying?
I want a rebuttal.
He wants a rebuttal?
Mo Salah is
Natty
a
curse, by the
reincarnated
way.
mummy. Oops,
You know,
I
you know
cursed.
the piano man when he says and the microphone smells like a beer?
No,
Oh, man, it does.
that's Greg's.
There you go.
I want to say that Dennis picked me up, and the second I got in the car this morning, he said the parlay lost. And I was like, oh, like, good morning to you, because we were going to Piper's to watch the other games that were supposed to be the ones that didn't. Yeah. Big
Parlay
day.
already lost.
Big day, Dennis. Anyways, no, this 100% I believe.
Get it together.
Patrick Ewing was one of the top prospects ever coming out of Georgetown. He was, everyone knew, like, this guy was probably one of the most sure things coming out of college ever. And what I mean by sure thing is, like, he was, he's going to be Hall of Fame. He's going to be a staple point for your team. Just the way that the league had so many bad teams and the way that the NBA was talking about disbanding and doing this. They were trying to make big teams. There is no doubt in my mind that they manipulated this, especially considering, and we talked about it a little bit, but this was the first year that they branched away from traditional draft standards.
Correct.
So that's that like everything lines up.
We didn't talk about that on air.
No.
We talked about
no,
it.
No, I know, and I know
okay.
you're going to get to it.
We're going to get to
is
it.
what I'm not stealing your
Allegedly.
thunder.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
I'm just wanting to make sure that people weren't confused. So first off, this was I'm going to forget this guy's name. David Stern's first year as commissioner.
Isn't it Daniel? That's the actor. Just kidding.
I hope he says Howard.
It's really tough not to. It's really hard
I'm
for
more
me.
of a Daniel Stern kind of guy, but hey, that's how I'm
So
alone.
it's
So.
interesting that it's the first year of a new commissionership.
Yes.
Okay. Second, they get away from their traditional draft model where the bottom 2 teams flip a coin for the first overall pick.
Yes.
Weird, right? Also,
sketchy.
when David Stern proposed it to the board, it was voted on immediately and passed.
Yeah.
That's weird.
There is thought that, like,
How many members on the board? We got that?
probably 7.
Well, one of them was the owner of the Knickerbockers.
How about that? You know that?
Got a little Robert Kraft situation.
No, so the other
I like
thing
that I can
that
do that
comes
'cause
up,
no one
yeah, no one knows, just hear the noise. Another big thing that came out of it was that a lot of people assumed that this had been in talks, kind of the way that, imagine if the NFL got a new commissioner and they came in and
I
instantly made
fucking
that,
wish.
but they instantly made that 4th and 15 on your own 20-yard line instead of an onside kick. Like, a lot of people were saying that had been a tossed around solution to the tanking, but for it to be accepted that same day means that they knew Stern was the guy that was going to submit it, which there's a lot of variables there.
So another really interesting question. Why wouldn't they use ping pong balls? So
Because of the movie Numbers? Or no, what was
which
it?
came out about 40 years later.
Lucky Numbers?
So it was believed that the media relations person, whose name I forget, was afraid that the door would swing open, springing all the balls free and making a mockery of the league, which was already, as we stated, in disarray.
But isn't that how they did like the lotto balls? Like, haven't that always been a
You
thing?
would think that would be...
But I don't remember. When did that happen, the movie that they based that on? Where they weighted the balls to win the lottery?
Yeah, I don't know.
So
Anyway.
there's also a conspiracy theory that Sidney Crosby's ball, or the Penguins' ball, was weighted to get Sidney Crosby.
Eat my ass.
Anyway.
Well, that's what I would say as a fucking Penguin fan.
I'm not complaining.
So
but I agree with you.
what's really
Good,
interesting?
they should have did that if they didn't.
Right.
Smart.
We deserve it.
What's really interesting
Rough
is
times.
that
X generation?
in a
Jesus
dress
Christ.
rehearsal that was done in David Stern's office, one
Daniel.
of the envelopes actually flew out of the drum. It's a little known fact, which was really interesting.
even-
While they were, did they do the I never saw the video of this.
Well, guess
He
what?
just digs in and
Guess what you're about to go through. We're going to
Ladies
break
and
down the
gentlemen, for
video of
first
this
time
draft.
on the
Frame
88
by
Hour,
frame.
Josh has allegedly,
Allegedly.
since we're on the conspiracy theories, Josh has made a movable video.
Dude, you already saw one, the flag.
the flag.
I'm just saying if it doesn't work,
he
I'm
did it
setting you
earlier.
up.
He already
Thank
did
you.
it.
That was a gift.
I already did it, though.
was a gift.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I'm gonna
It's
do
actually
what
GIF.
Then why are we just
Otis's
celebrating
best
it right
friend
now?
does
It's actually
from
called
Sex
GIF.
Education.
Why are we celebrating this right now?
I'm
then?
just kidding. It's a gift.
Why didn't we fly?
Because
why
this is going to be more impressive. Calm
This
down.
this
He
is a
thought you'd
whole
notice it earlier. He
sequence.
didn't want to, like,
We're
gas
going to
himself
break
up.
down the video. All right, here we go. So we're going to break down the video.
Oh, I can stop slouching.
So here's this dude
Ooh, I don't
putting
like
in
this.
the envelopes.
Shady.
Yes.
Okay, he's just like tossing them in there. Watch this.
Watch
What
it
was
goes
that?
through. Whoops-a-daisy.
Wham!
It's magnetic.
Wham! Like, what is he doing? And then he just goes back to throwing it in normally.
You instinct that was the Knicks pick.
So that was it
number
was
one.
the next
Yeah.
pick, and we'll get to it, right? So that's
gonna
kind
get
of they call that the bang on the
He
internet.
said, "Here it is."
Right? He's like he's literally, but like look at him, just like casually like
That other one,
tossing them in,
He tried to make that the one after it.
and he just like whips it off the side of the cage.
I wish it was a wider angle so I could have seen his face.
Right?
He's laughing maniacally.
Yeah, he's got a smirk on it.
So what's
Wow,
really interesting
shady.
is that this guy is from a independent agency that was supposed to make sure that this was conducted properly. However, it's
Patrick
also
Ewing's dad.
no, it's the same agency that does
wait
all
for
of
it.
the auditing for the group that owns Madison Square Garden.
The plot thickens.
Right. The next part,
Allegedly.
It's real.
the breath.
Ooh, the
So
breath.
what we're going to see next is David Stern taking a very deep inhale, or exhale rather, that literally is like, this guy's like got his whole fucking life on the line. Just like look at his face. And then
up to
he
something.
stares deeply into this bin. So we're going to play that clip next. Okay, ready? Here comes the exhale. Look at that little thing there, Boyd.
Can we make this bigger?
What
Yeah.
little thing?
Yeah, what little thing am I looking at here? I'm going to get close.
On the envelope?
Yeah, look at that envelope right there. What's right there?
The bent corner.
Kind of looks like a little bit of a back corner, huh?
Yeah.
Kind of seems like a little bit of a back corner. Like maybe he took a deep breath to look into the thing a little bit longer to make sure he knew where the corner was, right? Because look what he does next. There's the bent corner. What is that? I'm spitting over my
Yeah,
mic.
you're screaming.
Oh, man, I love it.
Big
What
Knicks
is
guy.
that? What is that? How would you? What is?
It's to make it look like a mix.
Sure it is.
Oh, man.
Sure it is.
Allegedly.
So this is where a lot of people will bring in the frozen envelope, right? Where he's feeling for the coldest one.
The
But
turn.
look at that bent corner. If we
Yeah,
can,
you can
see
it.
that,
You can see it at the end. You can see it right there.
Oh, the turn. I thought you
Yeah.
named the last category.
right? Which is, if we know the
No,
corner's
my bad.
bent.
You can see it when he's.
We know
No,
the
no,
corner's
no.
bent because of this guy,
a bad movie
right?
reference.
Remember this guy, just like
Dude, he was from a second ago.
The bang.
He was just there.
he was just slamming it off the corner, making a
thought-
bent corner.
When did
I
this
thought
take
you called
place?
it the pledge, the turn.
Do you know what year this was draft was?
Prestige,
1985.
85, man.
85, Chef.
So, like, this is a really interesting little. Here we go. His eyes look directly at it before reaching in. Absolutely, Mikey.
Right.
Absolutely. He looks dead into the thing. He takes this really big.
This is the one I believe the most out of any conspiracy that's ever happened ever.
Right. So
Really?
he reaches in, and I mean the bent
Maybe
corner.
Allegedly.
If we can see the bent corner in footage from
There
1980
it is.
F5, I guarantee that a man with goddamn glasses can see it inside the bin.
You probably didn't even
This
need
is
those
worse
glasses
footage
then.
than the moon landing. Just
Yeah, this is
It
trash
is.
footage.
It is
Anyways.
trash.
No,
so
this is
It's not
100%
his
real.
fault.
So this seems like damning evidence, right? And let me just
Allegedly.
add a little bit to this. How come The owner of the Knicks had a Patrick Ewing jersey ready to rumble right there.
Well,
Yeah, that's very common in sports.
to be fair,
They, so a lot of the times, especially if they have, like in the NFL draft and stuff, that's one of the reasons they stopped putting names on the jerseys nowadays is because they would have had 7 Ewing 33 jerseys there in theory. So, and honestly, I guarantee they did make them.
It just adds to it, though,
100%.
right?
No, yeah, that it was right there. I'm just
Right.
saying there is
this
a
is
little
85. You know,
So the whole, like, his little, like, whatever he's doing with his hand here where he's, like, flipping around to get the proper one.
bit. I'll wipe my face, and then I just punched everything.
God, good lord,
So, like, this whole, like, little thing, right? The bang.
this whole little thing.
The bang just really feels damning. Like,
This one happened.
The pledge.
This is actual footage where he just slams it off the side there.
The pledge.
And then, like, how he looks dead into it, right? Like, he's, like, looking down for it.
The turn.
And then you get the turn, right? Where he just
prestige.
goes for this really bizarre hand movement to pull it out, right?
Yep.
Now, most people think that the envelope was frozen.
That is the most, well, not the most common now that the bent thing with technology, but originally when you're trying to plan out how he knew because it was so predetermined, it felt like
Right.
the number one thing was, well, they froze the envelope. That's a very easy thing to do. Like
Right.
on dry ice, it would last a long time. That would, you would get other envelopes cold, but not on both sides to the point where you're like, yeah, that's the one.
Hey,
Yeah.
Derek.
And that's maybe why he did the turn.
Hey, Derek.
What?
Did you know that paper does not retain heat or cold?
I would assume that they're made out of cardboard or
But
some
that
kind
envelope
of hard.
probably does, chef.
It's interesting because there's been tests done
No, that's a good point.
that it doesn't,
But
paper
what are
and
those
paper
envelopes
products
made
do
out of?
not retain cold.
I would assume
We
that-
don't know.
Yeah.
And we don't know what the
Why don't we
Knickerbocker's
know?
logo on the inside is made of.
Why don't
Yeah, it
we
could be
know?
made of-
Why don't we
Another
know?
point to the
Yeah, that is a
conspiracy.
good point. If they have the the Knicks logo, Knickerbockers.
Knickerbockers.
No, it's the only time I ever knew that word was a legitimate word was I was driving out to the
Robinson?
airport. Yeah, right
Yep.
there in Robinson on
I
the
drove
right.
past it today, brother. I know.
Yeah, but the Knicks, like, you don't know on the inside if the logo on the envelope was made of some kind of metal or aluminum as
or
well.
weighted or
So,
yeah.
yeah.
There's
The bent corner is pretty damning, though. I
and
will
what's
say.
Yeah.
the bent corner's damning, and what's also really interesting is they never put the Knickerbocker logo up on the board,
Mm-hmm.
and realistically, they get it off camera quite quickly.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to this that's unexplained.
I was gonna say, are there any like arguments for this not being?
No, because even Patrick Ewing believes it was fixed.
And he's
Like
allegedly.
literally
damn
on
happy.
camera.
Yeah, he's damn happy.
On camera, he has said, "I believe it was fixed."
And he said, you know why, though, it makes sense for him to say that? It makes him that much more wanted. He was so wanted. He saved the NBA. They rigged the entire league to get him where they want him, and he was successful. I would
matter what.
scream
He
to
was
the mountains.
successful 13 times the Knicks made the playoffs after acquiring Ewing.
Patrick Ewing, I mean, he's a staple point in NBA history.
Right.
He saved the league.
It's really
I'd say that too.
and at the end of the day, okay, so like the Hawks owner at the time was famous for saying, "Yeah, they fixed it."
Yeah.
Okay. But like the Hawks are still around. The Hawks would have not been around possibly if Ewing had not ended up a New York Knick.
Allegedly.
Why?
Allegedly.
Oh, just because the league would have shut down?
Right.
I mean, you know.
And the other 6 teams would have ended up in Africa, just like Super Bowl loser shirts
He's
every year.
talking about the
All
Ewing
right, Denny.
No, the Ewing jerseys.
Yeah, the
Oh,
jerseys.
When I was
The
saying
other
'cause
6
there's a bunch of
jerseys.
33, yeah.
So somewhere out there, there is a
Ewing
33
Atlanta
Atlanta
Hawks.
Hawks jersey, which would be pretty baller to see.
Yep.
Actually, yeah. As
I'd
a
wear that.
as a vintage guy, that would be pretty
Fire.
sick. All right. This one does not have any video.
Squaw.
Instead, I'm gonna have to read a lot.
I think
but
that's fine. We're
All
40
right,
minutes
all
in,
right.
just to let
Before
you
we
know.
get in,
yeah.
boy.
real quick.
Oh,
real
we're
quick, real
going
quick.
deep
We're
tonight.
going deep today, baby.
Yeah.
Before we get in, I just want to say that I had never really done my research on that last conspiracy theory, and then this one, Derek.
You're the
is
one-
not-
I have not done any research
Right.
on
Yeah,
this.
he knows really nothing.
But I'm
about-
adamantly against it just on Belichick's name alone, so I'm excited.
Just wait,
oh,
brother.
You wait, brother. The pettiness has no limit
it's
for this
awesome.
fucking man.
All right, so Bill Belichick threw Super Bowl 52.
Facts.
All of this, I would like to give credit to LOP Sports and Philosophy. It's a YouTube channel. You should check it out. That's where the documentary was that I watched.
Okay.
Steal the video.
It's still the video. I watched it today.
No, steal the video.
Steal it.
He said
Oh.
it's still the
He said, it's still there. It's still a video.
Sorry,
said
boys.
steal the video.
Super Bowl 49.
That's where it all began.
The Patriots and the Seahawks. However, before that, the AFC Championship game was the Patriots. They would blow out the Indianapolis Colts. However, it was
45 to 7?
exposed later that the Patriots were using deflated balls.
Deflategate, baby.
Which
So the
fine.
next season,
Just wait.
I'm just chilling.
Tom Brady was suspended for 4 games.
Quattro.
And the team would start the season with unknown quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo.
The man himself to make his fucking Super Bowl
And I would
debut
like to
this
point out-
Sunday, baby.
To be fair,
To be fair,
That is also.
I know who he was.
That was also.
we all know who he was.
When
said
thoughts
a lot of
from the
people did.
bench
A lot of
started. Aww.
I'm a big Jimmy Garoppolo
Squad,
guy.
And
I'm a big believer in him too. It's
Derek and I
unfortunate
were
this
making
weekend.
videos in my living room, and we were all Jimmy Garoppolo.
You think the Niners are gonna win?
We'll get into that.
No, we're not. So
No,
just
yeah, we
answer
are.
me right. Oh, we are.
Yeah, we'll get into it later.
Oh,
You
okay.
asked to put it in the show.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a graphic for it, but we'll talk
Remember when
about
you
it.
we're like, oh, you forgot we called. You don't remember anything that we have
I do-
planned for
I
the
do
show.
remember,
You text us
actually.
today and say, what are we doing tonight?
I forgot. I was unplugging at the Getaway House.
He said, you guys busy? You want to hang out?
We're going bowling. Hey, it's your cousin Roman. Want to go bowling?
Oh my gosh!
All
All right.
right.
The idea of Brady, the idea of Brady being suspended for 4 games is a typical NFL thing. If you go 0-4, you don't make the playoffs. Well, instead, they went 4-1
3-1.
or 3-1 and made the
They
Super
won
Bowl.
more games.
games that he was suspended.
Right.
They counted a preseason win.
And essentially,
I
That's the
wouldn't make
game he
fun of you.
came back.
essentially what ended up happening was the greatest comeback in sports history.
Horseshit.
It seems the
Is that sports
Patriots,
history?
I'm sorry, in the sport.
How about
I'm in
Super
the
Bowl
sport.
history? Let's go.
Greatest-
with that.
greatest
I'm
comeback in
leaning a little bit, and I
Right.
always dislike the man, but LeBron against Golden State. But
Right. So
Crazy.
that was the Falcons Super Bowl
Boston,
for you
Toronto.
at home who
Boston,
may be
Toronto?
curious which one that was.
Anywho.
He has. Nah, there's no way you
Also,
have a
side
33
note-
Ewing's
side
Falcons
note-
jersey.
Side note.
Yeah.
Just because this is going to come full
Hawks,
circle.
yeah.
For how petty Belichick was. What was
Yeah.
the score at halftime of that Super Bowl?
Oh, I don't
Falcons,
remember. It was
27-3,
bad.
20
Yeah.
28-3. 28-3.
28-3.
Their Super Bowl ring for that game had 283 diamonds on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I knew that. Yeah, I don't think that's Belichick though.
It doesn't matter. That's a petty move.
Right.
I think that was Kraft.
Right.
It's great, regardless. Petty.
Yeah.
Could be Belichick. You never know. I don't know.
I don't think Belichick's calling Johnston's going like, yo.
Either
Maybe.
way,
Maybe
either way,
for that Super Bowl.
the Patriots win the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Okay. And it's the greatest comeback in the sport.
Yes.
It seemed as though the Patriots had found their replacement for the aging Brady, creating a Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers scenario, allowing the dynasty that Belichick had created to stretch past Brady's career. That is, until Robert Kraft stepped in. Robert Kraft refused to trade Tom Brady, as Belichick had suggested. In fact, in 2017, the Patriots traded away both of their quarterback prospects, Jimmy Garoppolo
Jacoby
and
Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett.
And then Garoppolo went right before the deadline, week 8.
Right. Now,
Jacoby
what
Brissett was a preseason just to set the
he was a preseason, but who
they
did he
didn't- they
trade
didn't
him
have-
to?
They traded him to the Colts for nobody.
And who did the Deflategate affect the most?
I would say the Patriots.
The Colts.
They lost that game.
They lost the game.
Yeah, but I'm not going to get into the fact that I'm a Steelers fan that thinks Deflategate was a lie. But
Steelers weren't involved in that.
yeah, but we hate the Patriots, and that's why everyone that says Deflategate.
I fucking do hate the Patriots because they fucking cheated us out of a 2001 and 4 Super Bowl.
Right.
That's fair.
So it's really interesting. You trade away your 2 top prospects with your quarterback at the age of 31.
39.
30. No, he was older than that at that point.
You said
I just
you
say-
said 31.
I thought he was. Oh, I'm so sorry. You're right. 39.
In the defense of the world, though, the Jacoby Brissett trade made sense.
Yeah,
Right.
The
that-
You got
Patriots
Garoppolo.
the Patriots do not normally operate with more than 2 quarterbacks.
correct, but they got nothing for him.
I don't know what they got.
What did they get for that? Do you have that? What they got for Jacoby?
I am the resident expert in Africa. I said I have one. That means I have one. I love you, Natty.
Oh, Natty, please tune in the show every Monday at 8. Yeah, so like they trade away Brissett, fine.
For what? What did they get for Brissett?
Nothing. And then you know
It's
what?
not nothing. They got something.
They trade. It was
what I
a
wanted.
draft pick.
What draft pick though? What
That
round?
could be the number
I
one
don't
overall.
remember. I don't think it was.
No, but the point is that they were probably going to move on from Jacoby Brissett in some fashion, so they were getting anything since Andrew Luck got hurt.
But then,
That one I have less
they
issues with.
traded Garoppolo for just a second-round pick.
To be fair, though, at the same time, the Jimmy Garoppolo trade didn't bother me really either because they brought back Brian Hoyer.
When?
Wasn't it that season? He was the backup. Who was the backup?
No. They did not have a backup when they traded Garoppolo. They did not.
When did they get
have
Hoyer back?
a
The next year?
backup When they traded
I mean, they would have
Garoppolo.
had to have signed him at some point.
That season, look at...
They signed him that season.
When?
Let's look.
How long after they traded... And first of all, why? For a second-round pick...
Boyd, put the mic to your mouth.
The mic to my mouth.
Thank you.
Why? For a second-round pick?
Josh, you keep going for a second. I'll find when Brian Hoyer signed.
So it's just really interesting, though, that you see them trade away two possible replacements for Brady.
Who is 39? Or is he 40 at this time? I don't. What year is this?
He's
Is 2018?
Yeah.
We're talking now?
Yeah, 2018.
So he's 40. Correct, because he's 41 now. No,
Right.
maybe he's... Maybe
How
he
old
was
is Tom
39.
Brady?
He might have been 39. Either way, he's an elderly man playing the quarterback
It says
position.
the 49ers also released veteran quarterback Brian Hoyer, started the team's first 6 games.
He's
season.
42
Hoyer was
now.
Probably taking another
So he's
pick.
40.
He was
Now
40.
a free agent, Rappaport added, it's safe to assume the Patriots will be speaking with Brian Hoyer.
Right, but they... But they
I'm telling you,
didn't-
they signed him almost directly
I
after.
think, yeah, it was a second-round pick and like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You can have this guy. But still,
But why?
Hoyer wasn't
You
on the
want-
Colts and he was a free agent.
You want Brian...
he was a free agent.
Yes.
They let him go.
Yes. So
Okay, all right.
Brian Hoyer was a free agent, and they were saying eventually we are going to have to pay Jimmy Garoppolo. Let's move him now to a team that we like. Bill Belichick loved Shanahan. He loved Shanahan. He knew the 49ers needed a first quality caliber quarterback, and he also knew that eventually they were going to have to move Jimmy. So he wanted to get him as far away from them as possible while helping another team that eventually, I mean, there's a reason that Matt Patricia's so good with the Lions. It's so the Patriots can bounce back, meaning Matt Stafford to the Patriots, #conspiracy. But Brian Hoyer has been Tom Brady's best backup ever. Matt Flynn out the window.
So can we
Not
talk
Garoppolo?
about, though, that he was forced to trade Garoppolo by Robert Kraft?
100% he was forced.
Okay.
I'm just saying they did have another quarterback in mind.
I'm just saying. He traded
that in mind.
he was forced to trade the future of his dynasty that he had built to be straddled with an aging quarterback.
And now it's Jared Stidham.
Okay, so 2018 season, the fix was on. The first clue, he gave away Jimmy Garoppolo for a second-round pick. The second clue, he suspended Tom Brady's personal trainer from all team privileges despite the fact that he had those privileges for years.
Not a common thing in NFL arenas, especially in the Patriots camp, to allow outside personnel that are not paid by the team to be
But why?
involved.
I get it.
That's a thing in the NFL.
But I'm saying why?
Because
After all
the
those
team,
years...
here's what it is. If my trainer, if I'm the quarterback of the Steelers and my trainer gives me advice that conflicts with the team's doctors, 2 reasons. 1, I'm going to trust my own doctor, meaning I'm going to sit out, meaning I'm going to cost the team more money, all those things. 2, that trainer has no allegiance to your team, just the guy. So if my doctors are telling you, hey, dude, you're good to play, and your trainer says, no, you're not, who are you going to trust? Your own trainer. It's never beneficial for a team to have an outside consultant in at all.
Okay. Why
We're
did he
not done.
sit Malcolm Butler for the Super Bowl? The guy who had literally won them the Super Bowl against the Seahawks.
Yep.
He sits him for quote-unquote football reasons.
Yep.
And instead replaces him with Eric Rowe.
A man who played 97%?
97% of the snaps all season.
Yeah, all season.
Now,
Moments before the game started.
let me...
Malcolm Butler's in tears on the sideline moments before the game started
Literally
because he's not playing.
So that's the other part. Belichick told him as the kickoff happened that he was sat.
Do you have a confirmed source on that, by the way?
Butler himself said that he was told during kickoff. And Rowe said that he had practiced with the first all week long. So it was alluding that Malcolm was going to sit, but it was not confirmed until at kickoff. Because if you were going to sit a guy and you knew you weren't going to play him, why would you give up the active roster spot in a Super Bowl?
And then as kickoff is happening, sit him and shake up the whole defense. No, the whole defense.
My thing is, there's no verified. I know Malcolm Butler is the verified source on that, but I'm sure in Bill Belichick's mind, and maybe I'm not sure. Maybe it's just that. He should, there's a lot of things coming out that Malcolm Butler broke team curfew. And I want to say one name, and I want to know if you guys know it, and it is Jonas Gray.
No.
Yes.
Jonas Gray, Josh, had
4
arguably
touchdowns.
the best game
4 touchdowns.
in a running back ever.
What was it?
4 touchdowns
and
yes.
260 yards
They
or
cut
something?
him the next week because he broke protocol. This was in the Patriots' prime. This was in the Patriots' you are not above the system.
I remember
anybody. Jonas Gray was
had
going to be
him.
the number 1 fantasy running back we've ever seen.
I had him on my
and
team.
they cut him because he
him.
broke protocol. Malcolm Butler, through the sources of just the interweb that I've Googled, broke protocol. And it sounds like they handled it shittily, but that you are not above the Patriot way.
I would also like to point out that when Belichick was the defensive coordinator of the Giants and when they played the Bills in the Super Bowl, he instructed his defense to give up 100 yards rushing. Because his idea was that if the Bills had success on the ground, that they would take the ball out of Jim Kelly's hands.
Fair.
And they did. So it's not unlike Belichick to attempt to outthink the other team.
Is Nick Foles going to really beat us?
And that's at the idea of what Eric Rowe is. Eric Rowe's 205 pounds, and Butler is 185.
I also want to add, I think
That's a big sway.
I think Malcolm Butler is aggressively overrated. I think one play made him get the money, and if you don't believe in me, it's the fact that the Tennessee Titans really didn't use him the past 3 years.
I absolutely agree with you that one play made him what he is, and that's that interception. But as
The 97% is damning. I'll give you that.
I'm just 97% of all the defensive snaps, and then to do it at kickoff.
Yeah.
Of the
Super Bowl, while the rest of the defense allegedly did not know that was happening.
Well, here's another thing I can add into the mix. I'm a big proponent that injury lists and injury rulings and questionable and doubtful and that whole thing, the only reason those are in sports is for Vegas money lines. So for Bill Belichick to not let anyone know that their star corner wasn't playing until kickoff was a way, because do you know how many times, the Steelers have been hit this year. The Patriots get hit all the time for not disclosing injury information. There is no logical reason in the sports world for injury information to have to be given to the other team. There is no reason that I should tell you that James Conner's not playing this weekend, but we do. The reason we do, Vegas money lines, fantasy sports, Rivers, all the big, the books around here. And so you understand that Bill Belichick was not allowed to say earlier on, hey, we're not playing Malcolm Butler, because then he would have had to disclose that information if there was an injury or said it.
Sure.
The fact that he did it at kickoff is a way for Bill Belichick to say, I'm smarter than everyone else.
So he's attempting to outsmart the system by giving up an active roster spot to Malcolm Butler, who he tends not to play.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm making sure everybody's heard. I'm making sure everybody's heard. Allegedly. The other interesting thing is back to kind of what we touched on, is that he didn't believe Nick Foles could beat him.
Yes.
Right? That's what he wants you to think. Other people would say that Belichick identified that if the Eagles opened up the passing game and got away from the run that was successful for them all season long, that they would be able to beat the Patriots.
The only argument I have with that is it was successful for them all season long because it was Carson Wentz throwing the ball and not Nick Foles.
I also would like to add that, and maybe this is just me, and I'm sorry to the city of Philly, Nick Foles didn't beat them. Doug Peterson did, because Doug Peterson is an elite NFL coach.
Questionable theory, but I agree with you that the Philly special, great play, great call. But was it Nick Foles' idea? Yeah, didn't seem like
No,
Doug
it was
Peterson.
Nick Foles' idea to run that play at that second. Do not tell me that play was his idea.
I'm saying to run that. So who's the coach?
Doug Peterson.
But who coached that play?
You're going to tell me that Jim Schwartz is out there as their defensive
All
coordinator?
I'm saying is that fucking
too?
Nick Foles called the play, not Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson was like, yeah, well, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do it.
Doug Peterson made the play.
I understand that, but he didn't call the play at the time. Nick Foles did.
No, and I guarantee on the 4-yard line, they could have ran it in.
Absolutely. But they went with that, and he was like, yeah, fuck it. But I'm saying he didn't call the play.
But I don't think they do that with Carson. I think they only did it because it was Nick Foles.
It's just very
Allegedly.
It's awesome that there's still, as evidence is brought up, that even I don't have on my piece of paper, there's argument going back and forth. It just further really adds to the depth of this conspiracy theory. Now let me add you another piece of this.
Add me.
Add him on.
So the NFL series mic'd up. Okay. In every major Patriots win that is featured on Mic Up, Belichick is seen pacing the sidelines, talking to everyone, motivating his players, making small adjustments, managing the game. Super Bowl 49's mic'd up, Belichick is nowhere to be found. Even in his post-game press conference, 52, he's very vague. For Belichick, the guy who, he's the mastermind, right? Almost like he didn't even watch the game, unable to recall major scenarios from the game, particularly when it comes to Malcolm Butler's decision to be sat. Simply stating, it was a football decision. There's also a very interesting scenario where Brady is walking down the sidelines talking to his running backs and his receivers who are sitting on the bench. He's like, let's go, we're going to war, let's go. And then all of a sudden he abruptly stops, turns, walks around Gronk, and disappears. When you look at the wide shot, Belichick is standing at the end of the bench.
Well, and my biggest argument to this coming down is this is a classic case of I'm the smartest guy in the room, and boom, I'm wrong. He didn't. So the team, if they win that game, and Nick Foles has 300 passing yards and no touchdowns, and the run, they sold it out, and it goes the way Belichick thinks, every single one of those players is going to be like, yeah, we probably could have won with Malcolm, but, it worked. Every time the smartest guy in the room's plan doesn't work out, you do not see him running around saying, hey, the team didn't want to hear that from Belichick. And I think Belichick knew that. I think Belichick was like, wow, they're going to be pissed that I sat Malcolm, but guess what? It's going to work out because we're the Patriots and I'm smarter than everyone else on the planet. And when it didn't work, I wouldn't remember it either. I would say football move. I would want everyone on that bench to hate me until the plan works and we have a ring.
What were the offensive and defensive coordinators that he recommended for other jobs? Do you remember their names?
I don't, but he recommended them after the Brady suspension.
The idiot happy hour.
So yeah, that's another thing is that Belichick had never, I guess you would say, put in a good word for a coach or a coordinator or whoever. That particular season after Brady was suspended, was it an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator? I think there was 3 people.
It was Matt Patricia and Josh McDaniels, I believe.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
That's their core. Well,
the guy with the long hair and the beard was the defensive coordinator.
Patricia.
I know Patricia.
Who had a pencil with a laminated play call sheet.
And it was McDaniels.
Josh
McDaniels?
has been there as
He's been there, a coordinator for a long time.
So he recommended them for those positions.
Do you know the position that he recommended Josh McDaniels for?
Quarterback coach.
Regardless.
Or head coach of Rutgers, right?
No.
Oh.
Josh McDaniels interviewed to be the head coach the next year of the Indianapolis Colts, the Deflategate team. And they ran them through the entire ringer of hiring him for him just to say, I'm going back to New England. Then they hired Frank Reich, the Philadelphia Eagles offensive coordinator. That
beat the Patriots.
Allegedly.
No, they did.
It's just, if it's true, it's the most Belichickian way to put in a hoax ever.
It's just a petty way to stick it to Kraft, if it is true. Yeah.
Here's my biggest issue with it being false. So, the one thing he really did, was sitting Malcolm Butler.
Right.
I don't think that's enough to
But in a game where one defensive play could have changed. I mean, it was a close game regardless.
Yeah.
So an interception, even a stop. You know what I mean? That Alshon Jeffrey touchdown that might not have happened.
Maybe, but if that whole thing, if that happened, and Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick sat down and talked about it, and Bill could not express why Malcolm Butler sat. I fully believe Robert Kraft believes that their success is behind Tom Brady, not Bill Belichick.
Right.
He would have fired Bill Belichick, Josh McDaniels would be their head coach, and they would have ran the next 10 years with Tom Brady.
The also really damning thing is that both parties stayed and then they won the Super Bowl the next year.
Yep. That's the biggest,
That's kind of the tough part to chew on. However, I love that Emperor Palpatine of the NFL fucked his own team.
it is a nice theory.
It's my, I was so deep in this theory today, gnawing on the bones of it, just trying to find every little bit because it was so good.
The other reason I don't believe it is because I don't believe, I don't know why the Eagles beat the Patriots with Pat better than
I like the fact that they won because I hate the Patriots and my dad is a huge Eagles fan. So it's nice for I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And
if we asked you right now, is Bill Belichick absolutely no questions asked the greatest coach of all time?
Absolutely.
I would say no. I would say it is
Phil Jackson.
There are names. Well.
NFL coach.
NFL coach. No, there's legitimate names through history. I mean, Shula, Lombardi. You look at Cowher. I mean, he doesn't have the Super Bowl prowess, but there are legitimate options at the coaching position. If you sit down and tell me, and I find out the day I die, if I meet Belichick at the gate, that this was true, I will believe that I never knew Bill Belichick. Because I have never known a Patriots team that did not want to prove to everyone that they were better every single day of the week, no matter who you put out there.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Patriots motto, baby.
So,
actually, the signs on the door say, do the work.
Yeah.
Do your job.
That means
do your job. That's it.
film
Do
the
your job.
defensive sidelines signals and
Do
play
your
calls.
job. All right. Let's move on.
Pat's and Geno's are the Philly steak place in Philadelphia.
Right,
Just
and
throwing it out
actually,
Gross.
you know what you should
Jim
do?
steaks only.
If you're at Pat's and Geno's, you should get both, eat
should
them, and then
leave.
call yourself a day and go right to Chicky and Pete's.
Chicken and pizza's okay, but you should go to Jim's.
Well-
That's the best cheesesteak in Philly. Tony
Excellent.
Luke's close second. Ishka
Here
Bibble's also up there.
we go.
Oh man, I don't know. Well, we are clueless here. This man, intern Josh,
No,
is
I
gonna
think
blow
this
our
was.
minds.
To be fair, I think this was
To be
my
fair.
call. I think I told you to
This
put this
is
on.
your fault.
But I don't know much about it. I just like to say lizard people.
Lizard people is a great. I'm more of a crab people, South Park kind of guy. That was my thing.
So here's the
I
deal.
think that was the
Step one, underwear. Step
We're about to
Question
get
profit.
balls deep
Oh,
in
man.
conspiracies.
Lizard balls.
So David Icke, who is a famous sports broadcaster from England. Imagine the Bob Costas of England, okay?
Pink eye.
Believes.
We had a beer.
It's downstairs.
Oh fuck.
I got the sours up
That's
here.
fine. Anyway, go ahead. Bob Costas of.
I'm listening.
Of
Get another beer.
No,
it's
no,
right.
we're
I'm gonna talk while he's getting beer.
All right.
Believes that 12-foot tall, shape-shifting alien lizards race control the world. They're from Alpha Cartnos star system, aka the Babylonian Brotherhood, known as lizard people.
Lizard people.
It's a sour. I'm just.
Now, lizard people walk around
Not bad.
just looking like me and you, except for they have a tail.
Allegedly.
Occasionally,
Look like a lizard.
their eyes give them away. So here's a guy on a Canadian TV show called Border Control. Watch his eyes.
Can we zoom in on his eyes? Let me see that again.
What?
Do they blink sideways?
Bro,
Oh, what the fuck? I don't like that.
Let's just watch this
Oh,
again.
he knew it and he covered up his eyes.
Absolutely covers up his eyes. So basically, the Border Patrol guard is telling him he's not allowed into Canada because he's committed a crime in the UK.
Well, that's gonna give me nightmares.
'Cause he's-
Ah, you zoomed in.
Maybe he's just upset that they found out about his crime he committed in the UK.
Well, why is his eyes flipping out like
Can
that?
we zoom in on the wide
Can
on
we
that
not?
shot? I need to see more.
Absolutely.
What?
I need all of it. I need all of the fucking eyes.
I want his eyes before.
Woo!
Well,
terrifying.
okay, time out.
See?
I'm not as freaked out because it doesn't. Well, oh no, it's a video that shows them close at the end. I thought you paused it.
No, that was the zoom.
So they
zoom
look.
in.
There is a change. So there's like
Oh,
a.
yeah, like
they
a-
go from normal eyes to change.
He got nervous.
And this is on just a reality TV show.
So it's fake.
allegedly.
That's kind of weird.
Jersey
My
Shore.
friend
Right.
was on a reality TV show that they hypnoptized him, and I still don't believe that shit was real.
I want to be hypnotized.
Oh boy.
I wanna be-
I
chicken.
want you to be
I want to be a
hypnotized. To be
chicken.
honest.
I want to be a chicken.
All
Yeah.
right, so here's some known lizard people. George Bush, Bill Clinton, Bob Hope, Barack Obama, the Queen of England, Dick Cheney,
Hold on.
Henry Kissinger, Al Gore, Chris Christopherson, and Boxcar Willie, and our girl, Britney Effin Spears.
Hold on.
So you're
I
telling
have a
me
question.
that Al Gore, the global warming king, is a lizard person?
Where's Adam Silver? That guy looks like a lizard more than anybody out here.
Yo, this is wild.
Who's in the bottom left?
Barack?
That is Henry Kissinger.
No, that ain't Barack.
Where's Barack at?
He's in the middle.
Brock's right
left.
here.
Wow, my eyes are shit.
So
George Bush is in the
Maybe I'm a
middle.
lizard.
these are public
Public.
public.
That's a known lizard people.
Known lizard people might be the greatest quote of 2020.
This is hilarious. Laugh loud. Deke, Sass, new guy. This is
New
a good
guy.
show, man. I'm back
New
at school
guy.
again. We'll try to catch the show as much as I can. You can catch
Love you,
it
Natty.
anytime after it's live on Facebook and YouTube.
At least you're not scrawny guy like Greg.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. That's
Wasn't
awesome.
that the new guy? Wasn't he a scrawny guy? Wasn't he
No,
that?
Greg's scrawny guy.
But
You're a new
remember
guy.
the new guy, the movie?
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah.
Classic.
So you and Greg have a baby. Boom, new scrawny guy.
New scrawny
scrawny
guy.
guy.
All right. So those are known lizard people. Just
Allegedly.
deal with it.
Define known.
As in, like, they've been caught on camera
Do you have a
changing.
camera of all of them?
Caught on camera changing?
How about Brit? Bitch. Look at these eyes. Ready? What was that? What was that? What was that?
I just. Okay, they clicked sideways.
You feeling uncomfortable?
Where did you find
You
this
a little bit
footage?
worried? You a
Where'd
little
you
bit
find this
worried?
footage
You
at?
kind of uncomfortable?
No, because that's easily Photoshopable.
Oh, it's so weird.
That's easily Photoshopable.
Is it? Though?
Yes, because all you
Okay.
gotta do is make like literally cooking. I don't believe that one.
All right. How about at the 2012 U.S.-Israel Policy Conference?
Oh my gosh.
Here's Lee Rosenberg. So there's regular teeth.
Ooh.
Now check these pearly whites out.
I don't. I
That
mean,
might just be a
that's-
shadow type. It's fucked up. That's weird. I don't
What?
like that.
Matt, turn this off. You're a conspiracy guy. I need you to not watch this.
Oh, wow. That's creepy, Britt. Okay.
Who is
how
Lee
about-
Rosenberg?
Lee Rosenberg was the president of the council at the time, which is like an acronym. I can't remember. It's like ACIP.
That's just gotta be some
basically, it's like
lighting,
an-
man.
it-
I don't
it's
That's
in-
know.
my thought. He got a big chaw dog in.
It's like
Okay.
like he turns to the side. I don't know. I don't know
So
something about
what
that
what
is-
Lee is doing here
It's being a lizard.
is introducing Barack Obama.
He does make like a.
He like
Dude,
corrects it.
okay, time out. Can we cancel out guys that look like Voldemort? Like that dude is scary already.
Okay. All right.
I don't-
Ready?
But he looks normal there.
How about
He looks
how about
terrifying.
how-
Can I
so
see
what
Barrack?
he's what
Go
he's
ahead.
doing is introducing Barack Obama.
B-Rock.
How about Barack's security guards here? Check these guys out here in the frame. That guy ain't normal. Wait till you see this side shot here, because that guy's losing his human suit right in front of you. That's a. Are you mean tell me that's a human?
That's
Oh, we got.
that's Voldemort too. We gotta cancel Voldemort, guys. That's a human.
bad
yeah.
video
If Lee
qual.
Rosenberg, gosh,
That's
is
bad video qual, brother. I don't know. That's
now.
real
I don't
zoomed in,
know
real
now.
tight. I don't know. That's just.
Hang on, let me get ready.
is my mom a lizard person? I love you. Mom.
So here's some interesting how to tell you're a lizard person.
Yeah, well, how to tell if I'm a lizard person?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Do you have eyes that change colors depending on what clothes you wear?
Yes,
Then you're a lizard person.
blue or green?
Do you feel like you're detached from humanity?
Yeah, okay, time out. That's just 2020. That's just anxiety and depression. Guys, I'm not a lizard person. I'm just depressed and have
He's a fucking
anxiety.
lizard person.
No, what if?
I
Fuck.
fucking knew you were gonna fucking reveal him on the show.
I'm
One
also a
in-
lizard person.
1 in 3 is
I
a
didn't even
lizard.
know.
No.
Oh God!
So-
They're gonna kill me, guys. I'm glad this is live streaming. Save me.
Time out. Does that mean there's more people in my house if 1 out of 3 people are a lizard person and both of us are lizard people?
Ooh.
'Cause it's just my brother downstairs, but apparently we got ghosts.
Hey,
They're not lizard people.
maybe they were.
Maybe they were.
But
So-
no, they can't be numbers.
So the
Ghost
idea, the
1 out of
idea
3.
of lizard people is
scared.
that they're an ancient race that used to inhabit the earth.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, and then when humans started to show up, they're like, we can make these little monkeys do what we want. So they pieced out in their spaceship, and they went to the moon, which is actually a Death Star-esque planetoid, and they live in the moon,
Does
and they
look a lot like the
control
Death Star.
This is wild.
It does look a lot like the Death Star.
and they control the Earth from the Death Star by sending down people who are these people.
I'll be a waste of a lizard person if I'm a lizard person.
So like,
you don't know because you're a hybrid.
okay, wait.
You're not going to change because a lizard person mated somewhere in your bloodline to create you.
Oh, your dad's a lizard person.
Oh, Chip's definitely a lizard. Marcia, get out of the house. Chip's a lizard person.
Get out now. Okay, wait. So did we never go to the moon then? If
Oh, we went
No, we
there.
did.
the
we got-
lizard
we got-
people went there,
We went there,
We had
and then the
sex with
lizard people
lizards.
came out, and they were like, "Get the f off our lawn."
We had sex with lizards, and now here I
Allegedly.
am.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
It would have to be a drunk lizard
I won't do this show anymore.
or a sick lizard. I
So
guess.
that's the idea of the lizard people. Also, a weird coincidence. Did you know that every U.S. president is related in some way, shape, or form?
So
What?
Yep.
No, I don't think it's everyone.
It's everyone but Trump.
There you go. Makes sense.
He's too fat to be a lizard person. They're all skinny.
Who's Barack related to?
George Bush, Bill Clinton, Eisenhower, and
You
Hoover.
didn't build that family tree out here?
I'm sorry, I don't have the graphic, but yeah, he's
That
related
is like
to
the
them.
craziest thing I've ever heard, and there's
So-
no graphic?
So literally, there's like 2 trees, and you can trace them up through the trees.
How do we know they're not fake?
What about Kennedy?
Kennedy was related
Nixon.
on the other side, away from Barack.
Mom's side.
And it's not like they're like kissing cousins. It's like 19th cousins, but they all share the same blood.
All right.
AB positive.
AB positive. Sure.
I just made that up.
Is that the universal one?
No, that's O.
Now, if you'd like to chew on this a little bit more, David Icke, who was the person who brought this all to the public realm, right, is actually also a lizard person. In
Per
fact,
him?
he himself
Matt says post the family
is
tree.
a chaos agent. He is out there telling people about this in an attempt to make it non-believable that lizard people exist, therefore approving their existence. Because why would you need a chaos agent if lizard people didn't exist? I thank you.
I don't
That was a
understand.
great shot.
That's
and scene.
Yeah.
that's like me saying that I'm actually 500 guinea pigs in a human skin, but I'm going to send one guinea pig out to tell people that there's no such thing as me.
Exactly.
That's dumb.
It's called a chaos agent.
But just don't ever say it and no one ever finds out.
I got to get this because my
Chaos
shit's on
agent.
here. All right.
Shit.
The baby filter?
No, not the baby
Shit's
filter.
all
All
over the
right.
place.
So that's lizard people.
I'm
I
scared.
told you I would wreck you guys with my lizard peoples.
I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm a little scared.
Adam
but-
Silver was
Hang on a second. Let me just go back to Brit here.
What about
Britt's not the freaky one. Lee Eisenberg.
Lee Rosenberg?
Lee Rosen.
I just don't like the
Those
teeth,
are normal
man.
teeth.
Yeah, that jawline.
And then all of a sudden,
the jawline,
Scary.
man.
It's-
look at
The
these teeth.
jawline, man.
It's like he shifted. Oh,
What's also really weird is he's in that clip. He's looking up at Barack, and Barack covers the camera. He almost like is like, oh shit, brother, your mask's coming off.
Yeah,
Because
but
Barack,
what are they-
also a lizard person, knows what it looks like.
So
Maybe
all
that's
you
how
have
they
is
greet
Barack
each other.
Obama's bodyguard. You don't have anything of Barack?
I didn't bring anything of Barack because everything with Barack and George Bush, it could be digital breakup. In
Okay.
all honesty, it looks like digital breakup to me, a
Yeah.
video professional.
Bleh.
However, there is some weird shit with
like-
them.
all
You
right,
can go
cool.
home and Google
Next.
that on here.
Yeah,
All right.
good deal.
Welcome to the draft board.
What about Mormons? That's a big conspiracy.
Oh, absolutely.
It still says Pokemon.
It just says it on our screens,
I'm
not
sorry.
their screens.
I didn't mean to call you out.
It
All right.
does?
Yeah.
Post the family tree.
5 real people to storm Area 51 with.
Fuck.
Who's going first?
I
How
didn't
do we
think
know?
anything
Do we
about
know what the order of the past 4 episodes have been?
Okay, so
went
I went last time.
this.
Boyd
You
was
went-
middle. You were first.
I-
On Pokemon, I was first?
On Pokemon,
Yeah.
Okay.
you were first.
Well, then why don't we go, Boyd, Josh, me.
Okay.
Is that cool?
These are real people.
Real
human
people.
beings.
Now, here's the deal.
Do they have to be alive?
They don't.
Okay.
They don't have to be alive and assume they're in their prime.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris. Okay. Well,
I don't know where I'm even gonna go.
Why would you have to go anywhere?
right.
You're not wrong.
I don't.
Can I just draft Chuck Norris 5 times?
I
I'm
don't
about
see
to
why
draft-
not.
I'm about
What
to
are we
draft-
doing? 4 or 5? 5?
5.
Five.
I'm about to
Five.
draft. You don't have
Are you
Norris?
googling Chuck Norris?
my
I'm making
Lord.
sure that I spell this right because
All
God
right,
knows
Next week I'm
gonna
asking
get.
for a Josh Elsat spelling bee.
I'm going to draft Jonas Antetokounmpo.
No cheating, Josh.
All right, Chuck Norris it is. Chuck Norris is first. So I'm second.
You're
Is that what it
second.
is?
Wait,
All right.
I thought you were second.
No, we're just doing the
Okay.
list order.
So here's the deal.
Okay.
I don't.
I'm
I don't
I'm
wanna
taking this at a very tactical approach.
Okay.
I
He's
believe
picking
I
all lizard
need.
people.
Smart.
I didn't even
So,
fucking think of that.
tactical.
I didn't even think of that.
Tactical.
Shit. All right. So my game plan is to pick a leader, an inventor,
Nerd, I'm the leader.
a hands-to-hand combat
I'm
person,
not fun. I'm just picking the strongest fucking people.
I'm
a
picking people that I
military
know will help me.
expert, and a pilot.
What was that? What was that? Second
Military
to last
expert.
One? Military.
Military
Yeah.
expert and a
Okay.
pilot.
Yeah,
Okay.
and a pilot.
So first overall
Pick a movie
pick
stars.
for me goes to
Pick a songwriter.
Steve Wozniak of Apple.
Okay.
Because I feel like I need.
I'm gonna take Billie Eilish and should keep everyone entertained.
Alice and Bill Gates. You have 2 bills.
Wait, Wozniak's not gonna make it over the fence.
Wozniak's gonna get stuck on the fence.
Yeah, I want to bring that up. So you're just taking him for money aspect or what?
I'm just taking him because I
better
feel
take
like
Elon Musk,
he
brother.
belongs there.
That was my fucking. Are you kidding me? It's my pick. Oh, you suck. I get 2. Yeah, it was gonna be.
I'm glad I know who
It was
both
gonna
of
be
you
Elon
picked.
Musk
All right.
as number 1, just because he's got to have something built for this,
But you
and
said
he's pretty fit.
You said they don't have to be alive, right?
No, they don't have to be
Oh,
alive.
okay, word. I'm taking Frank Sinatra for a second drink Jack with somebody.
Morello. All right, we didn't find the aliens, but you want to go see a bar?
Hey, baby, how you doing? Let's take a shot of Jack.
Next, I'm picking 2 guys that are alive right now. I'm going
You got-
Joe Rogan.
Oh,
Ooh,
see,
you
now
bitch.
Joe Rogan's a double because
that's
he's a subject matter
smart.
expert and a
An
combat
MMA
guy.
aficionado.
Right,
Take Alex
right.
Jones. Oh, Jesus. My list is going to be so fire.
I gotta get
'cause
back
it's gonna
in
make
frame.
no sense.
Yeah, no.
Shit. All right.
Oh,
I
God.
feel like I thought way too hard about this because you
love
guys
it.
are just out there throwing
I'm
around
winging
shit.
it left
What do you
and
mean?
right.
My picks are great.
Yours are.
Mine's straight winging it.
yeah, you're
Chuck Norris
stressed.
is crazy.
All right. My first person that I want, and this is my military expert, is Dan Bilzerian.
I knew he was going
Yeah.
to pick him.
No, Josh is gonna skip the
Oh
alien extraction
my
and just be like,
God.
"Hey, man, your pecs. How did you?"
Your calves, bro. Are they real or are they implants?
Bro, like,
I
skip
swear to
the
God,
alien,
they're
like-
implants. There's
Yeah.
no way they're that good. He's
Jesus.
like Robert Kelso, who like jumped into a fucking helicopter in Nam or something. Like that dude's caps are insane.
All right.
You got 2, Boyd.
I got 2.
Yeah.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
That was gonna be my. Yeah, that
You
was a
can't
good-
take my best friend, Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Sorry, brother.
So are we just picking groups of people we want to hang out with?
I mean, basically, because I was going to pick Kevin Smith, but I'm not going to.
Subject matter expert Kevin Smith.
All right. Let's see.
Was Rogan on your list, Josh?
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
Yeah, he was.
I'm going to go...
Oh, I just thought of a good one. Oh, I'm so excited. If this wraps around, I'll freak out. It's also a subject matter expert.
Is it the guy from... I don't even want to know.
Our whole team's
Is it Will Smith?
Our whole team's just gonna hang out in the parking lot.
I think I know
You
who
guys
it
never
is,
invade.
and I kind of want to leave him for you if that's what I'm thinking of. So I'm going to go... Man...
Look at my subject history right now. My search history on Google is Steve Wozniak,
Mr.
Dwayne
People.
Johnson, DeBrin. But then it gets down to how old is Tom Brady? Conspiracy theories, 1985 draft.
I'm going Stephen Hawking.
Ooh, what?
Stephen Hawking.
Dude, that guy's a paperweight at this point.
To be fair,
You said in his prime, to be fair.
Yeah.
And he's like literally the smartest fucking dude in the world.
he has a
Steve-
better shot at making the fence than Steve Wozniak.
Facts.
I'm so sorry, but did Stephen Hawking ever not exist in a chair?
Yeah, the theory of everything, bro.
Man,
Okay,
you
I didn't
are
know that.
just despicable human
is
being.
this
guy? Really?
Fucking guy.
Okay,
I think we
so
should take his pick away, his next pick.
Nerd,
Oh,
yeah, let's
let's
Tom Brady
skip
his
this
bitch.
all right.
Can't
So
believe
I'm
you
gonna
would
go
come at
with
me like
my
that. Mr. First overall pick, Steve Wozniak. Get the fuck out of here.
dude. Woz would be hacking into Area 51, opening up all the doors.
Woz
and
would
shit.
be stuck on a fucking bear trap as soon as fucking The Rock and Chuck Norris are knocking gates down. You got Dan Bilzerian fucking blowing AKs, and Wozniak's like, my fucking ankle hurts. Oh man, when are we gonna get to a computer so I can figure something out?
My therapeutic socks aren't working,
Oh,
guys.
Jesus.
Yeah, you're doing great, Josh. You're doing great.
Oh yeah, we were gonna make fun of Josh.
No, we're not. We're making fun of Steve Wozniak.
That's
right,
Very, very
naturally.
different.
Why didn't you pick
All right.
Jobs? The better Steve.
Oh boy.
My
Because
ass.
he couldn't code.
He could
I
fucking
think he'll
sell.
do just fine. Yeah. Man.
Royce Gracie.
One of us has to use the restroom.
I do too.
Make that all of us, bro.
So Royce
I'm taking my two
Gracie.
picks. I'm going to the bathroom.
Royce Gracie is my hand-to-hand combat expert.
All right. Dan Bilzerian is also a very good hand-to-hand combat expert.
Well, yeah, but like,
fucking goober.
talk about double trouble there.
All right. First one, he's going to keep the troops entertained. Tom DeLonge.
Yes. I love it.
Bro, if anyone doesn't know, Tom
Genius.
DeLonge used to follow Blink-182 around when they
Genius.
came back and have shows in the parking lot about how aliens abducted him. Literally the reason I got through 8th grade breakup was Tom DeLonge.
Man.
And I feel so mad.
I feel so angry.
It's great. It's so
That's
good.
getting clipped for Instagram.
I feel so calloused.
Oh my god, my
So
life.
lost, confused.
All right, Tom DeLonge, subject
So
matter expert.
I got
and
subject
rock and
matter
roll
expert.
star.
I got Joe Rogan, subject matter expert. I got Elon Musk, weird subject matter expert. I guess I need like a big dude, like a hand-to-hand. Bruce Lee.
Ooh.
He was on my list
Potty
as
break.
well.
Nice. Potty break.
You heard me.
Oh, man.
Show, do it, come on.
It's our show.
How dare you.
All right, I'm back up.
Here you are.
So here's my deal. I don't think you're gonna. No one will take my last one. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get my pilot now.
Tom Cruise.
Do you imagine Tom Cruise gets behind? He's like, guys, I know what I'm doing, and it has no clue what he's doing. Where do you go?
You see, you did research on this. You came in with a plan.
I always come in with a pen.
Sullenberger. Burger?
Yeah. Who is AKA Sully, the guy,
Stan Dersh.
the guy who landed the plane
Oh, upside down?
upside down.
Sully. Yes. Okay.
So
I didn't know
that,
his first name was Chelsea. That's interesting.
yeah, it's Chelsea Sullenberg, and Sully's his nickname. But that's why I took Sully, because I want somebody that when he's forced to fly an alien craft out of there is just, all right, we're doing this shit.
Okay.
He's like 2 vodkas deep, doesn't give a shit, and he's just going for it.
All right. Respect. Damn.
All right, so Eric has taken Joe DiNardo. That's good. Eric is taking Joe DiNardo, Regis Philbin, Weird Al, Charlie Chaplin,
Weird Al is a
and
great
Ice-T.
What was... Wait.
Those are pretty
Run
good,
that
too.
back up. Joe DiNardo, Weird Al...
Regis Philbin,
Regis Philbin. That was
Charlie Chaplin, and Ice-T. Matt
love it.
says, good start, Boyd. Y'all need 3 good picks to compare.
To what, Bruce? Or to Chuck? I think Bruce Lee and my list are just below Chuck Norris. Like, I'm almost there.
Dude, Bruce Lee's above Chuck Norris. Hands down.
Yeah, you're right. We are talking
That's
about the real
true.
human.
That's
We're not
true.
talking
That's true.
about Walker,
That's true.
Texas Ranger.
No,
We're talking about
we're
the
talking
real
about the
human.
real
Yeah,
human.
Then
Yeah.
Bruce Lee's the best pick on this board. I agree, Josh.
Allegedly.
Thank you. What did I miss?
He
Okay,
picked
so I
Sully.
took Sully, the guy who landed the plane upside down.
What do you ballpark here?
He's a pilot.
Yeah.
He wanted a pilot.
So
He didn't want like an Air Force pilot or anything. Crazy
yeah.
like
So you
that.
took a commercial pilot.
Well,
He
so
landed a plane upside down
He did
in the water.
not a spaceship.
Well, he thinks that he
but
could man
Sully
the
was
spaceship.
also he was a
I wish it
pilot.
wasn't real people because I would take.
He was
Tim
an Air
Allen
Force
from Galaxy
pilot.
Oh my
Quest.
god, I hate.
He was
you.
an Air Force pilot before he was a commercial
Okay,
pilot.
fair, but they're like.
What about the Wright brothers?
The Wright brothers wouldn't know what the shit to do with technology.
in
Fucking
Sully Wood?
When did
Yeah.
that
This shit
happen?
got photon cannons.
When did that happen? When did Sully land the plane upside down?
Like 10 years ago.
Christopher
12 years
Columbus,
ago. You know how
Ocean
much,
Blue, 1932.
you know
You're
how
taking
much-
the guy who thought he found America but found South America
It's
instead?
not my pick. I'm telling you a poem
Okay.
that you're not appreciating.
poem.
Boyd's up for 2.
No. Oh, yeah. Boyd's
I
up
am
for
up
two.
for 2.
What, you think you just skipped me?
Who do I have here?
You got Chuck Norris, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and Stephen Hawking.
great
I feel
list.
like I just want to go with like straight muscle.
The only hard thing is getting... is your prime Stephen Hawking walking? Because that's not his mental prime.
No, I want the mental prime Steve Hawking.
Okay.
So
That's-
you're
how's the
strapped
chair
to a
getting?
chair.
To be fair...
So it's like
To be
The
fair-
Rock like carrying him around in a
Yeah.
I
papoose?
have Chuck
Yes.
Norris in The Rock. And
Yeah.
you know what? Guess who else I
Yeah.
have? Jason Momoa. And just to keep things entertaining for me, I also have Seth Rogen. And that is my 5 that I'm storming Area 50. I think it became who I want to storm.
Yeah, this became it. Who does Boyd want to have a beer with?
Maybe a little
Just
joint.
replace Stephen Hawking with Willie Nelson. And there's this list of who he wants to have a beer with. You
I'm
did not
going
agree.
Momoa and Rogan. That's what
Wow,
I'm doing.
Seth Rogen.
I love Momoa. I don't know of Momoa's abilities in Area 51. He's cool. He's very cool.
I
He can
think
throw axes and chug beer.
Exactly, which is all I need.
Not in Area 51.
If I'm slapping alien cheeks, brother, I want Momoa there with me. And Norris. And Hawking can watch.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Shit. All right.
I won. I'm sorry, guys.
You literally took a situation you couldn't lose in and lit it on fire.
No, I didn't. You're so wrong. What says that you're right?
All right.
Just me. You're right. This actually isn't bad.
It's not
The other
bad.
ones were way too sour in this.
It's a little sour, but it's
Yeah.
I'm stuck.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Between a rock and a hard place.
There you go. Like that.
I kind of want to take an American legend here.
Ooh, yeah. Middle with you.
So sad
And
I
I
ever
feel
Are you
so
gonna
created
take,
this
I
show.
hope you take Hulk Hogan.
I feel so
Oh.
angry.
Was not even crossing. I would take Macho Man over
I
Hulk
should've
Hogan
taken
every
the
fucking
Ultimate
day of the
Warrior.
week.
It's fine though.
I'd take Andre the Giant over Hulk Hogan every
I
day
would
of the
take
week.
Ultimate Warrior all day. I should have, but it's
Andre
fine.
the Giant can
I'm
drink a lot
happy
of
with.
beers.
I'm
Ultimate
happy with
Warrior
Seth Rogen.
also
Seth Rogen.
low-key a subject matter expert, but that's fine.
I'm saying.
Okay, so I feel like this guy...
I feel so mad.
What the hell's happening here? All right.
Feel so angry.
How good is Blink-182 and Boxcar Racer and Angels and Airwaves and Plus 44?
Oh.
Everything.
I'm taking the international superhero Neil Armstrong. I almost took somebody else.
Should have taken Buzz Aldrin.
Why Buzz?
Because he punched that guy when he said
Oh,
they didn't
that's
land on the
true.
moon.
Yeah, I was surprised that didn't make it in here.
no,
Buzz,
To be
Buzz
honest,
would have
side
been the
note.
better
I was
pick.
very surprised
Buzz
you didn't
would
put
have
the
been
Buzz
the better
Aldrin
pick.
punch in the face in
Take
here.
Buzz just to spite him.
No, I'm trying
Take
to think
Buzz
of
Lightyear.
No.
And by that I mean Mr. Hanks.
I hate you. So, do I get to decide when their prime is?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what? This one, it's going to be... When are we rating it? We're rating it like tomorrow?
Yeah,
Okay. So, I guess my question is...
sure. I mean, this giant hypothetical
I guess
fucking
your
bullshit
question
that
is
we do
sure.
anyway.
Is former president still have Area 51 clearance? Or does?
Oh.
You taking Eisenhower? Kennedy? Who you
Because
looking at here?
Eisenhower's the one that set it up.
I'm taking Eisenhower.
thought so.
Reason being, he also has a
man.
ginormous military background.
Smart man.
Like,
I like that.
the biggest military background.
So it is Dwight D. Eisenhower who set up the military complex, like everything. Like
So I
he's
didn't know he set up
literally-
Area 51, but I know
He
he's
sure
like
did.
the military president.
He
Like,
also started.
man, guy.
What did he start? He started one of the.
Double D and Ed Eddie was based off him.
Was it
Right.
Was it the CIA that he started? What
Yeah.
did he? Was it CIA?
I thought Hoover
Dude.
started the CIA.
Oh, no, you're right.
right. Yeah.
But
You're absolutely right.
Eisenhower started.
No, Eisenhower was in the CIA.
Yes.
I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
yeah,
it was. Yeah.
Like that dude's straight
He's-
gangster.
Yeah.
I'm not
He's
gonna
thugged
lie.
out.
I'm not gonna lie, and I would never usually say this, but that pick, I think, just won Derek to draft.
I would agree,
Thank you. Yeah.
especially
Well, that was not
because
my question.
because like 4 of them, no, or I'm sorry, 3 of them were on my list as well.
The only thing is, like, you don't. I got all the muscle, so we can hang out together and Storm Area 51
I
together.
would. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I'm down with
I
that.
got the
But
nerds.
We can leave Alsace.
No, see, yeah, El says, I want to. Is there any guys on his team that you would want? Neil. Neil is a guy that I would take as my 6th.
Yeah, kind of Neil. I would add Neil as my sixth best.
I don't-
6 man
Not
of the year
Dan.
for sure.
Dan Belzerian.
No, fuck
He's
Dan.
going to get so annoying. He's going to have sex with all the people.
Fuck
Royce Gracie.
Gracie, I enjoy, but here's my question about it. Like,
No, Neil's my 6 man off the list.
if I'm going and there's just aliens just coming,
Big fuck you to
Gracie's a
Steve
very
Wozniak.
big jujitsu.
You don't have time to choke
Bruce
a guy
Lee,
out.
Scott,
yeah,
Scott.
that
Neil
makes
Armstrong's
sense.
probably like, listen, guys, remember me? Like, we just talked not that long ago. Like, I
Yeah.
just saw
Neil
you.
Armstrong's like, I just talked to you
we
2
just
weeks
had
ago,
this
bud.
together.
We were
Yeah.
texting. Lay down.
Someone's
what I
going to be
mean,
like,
like-
you guys have clearances and say, I'm Dwight Eisenhower. And they're going to be like, well, shit.
Obviously, Steve Wozniak's going to be like, he's going to trip
They're
over
literally
his own
going to
2
say,
feet.
they're literally going to say, where's Steve Jobs?
Mr.
That's your number 1 overall.
Mr. Wozniak, your name is not on the list, sir. I'm sorry.
like Steve
you're gonna have to
Wozniak.
turn around and leave.
My mom says I vote mimosas, and I'm Momoa.
Mimosas.
Aquaman. Aquaman, Jason Momoa, or Game of Thrones?
It doesn't matter.
No, you can,
Oh, it does matter.
So we're taking him as the human, obviously, but if you had to pick,
All right, Aquaman.
yeah, Khal Drogo's dope.
Easy.
Oh, dude, Drago and the freaking horse riders running. Oh.
I also
Just like
I never
running
watched
through
Game
the
of Thrones.
Denver airport, just like killing people.
12 dragons. Gang. Who'd we miss?
Man. Okay, so here's a guy that was on my list that didn't make it.
Okay, honorable mention.
George F. in Washington.
I thought about him, but like, here's the thing. I am more capable of knowing what Dwight looks like and being like, okay, that's Dwight Eisenhower. George Washington, like, he doesn't know what technology is.
Yeah, but like it's G-Dub, man.
But I am less likely to believe he was reincarnated than Dwight D. Eisenhower if we're doing that route.
That's
I
the
would
most.
take- I would
That's the
take-
most cavalier MFer on the ever.
Yeah.
Ever. It's like him and Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan would have been a good pick.
Would have tactics. I
Genghis
thought
Khan
about
would have been like raping the aliens and shit. Like my seed is everywhere.
You're not
lizard
wrong.
people. So no, I was gonna go with a nerd with my last pick, but I put Dwight.
I was gonna go Bill Gates. Bill Gates was an honorable
Bill Gates
mention.
was
Bill
up
Gates
there.
was left off. He was on my list.
I picked Hawking instead of Gates.
Like
Right.
I feel like Elon Musk is my nerd, but he's also I feel like
He's also Elon Musk who shoots cars into
I feel like
space for
DeLong
fun.
is like also your nerd, but I mean your real nerd is definitely Elon.
Yeah, no, Tom
On
DeLonge
your-
is like my nerd that like just gets high and talks about stuff. Elon is the one that could actually physically help.
I
That's why I
don't
got Seth
know.
Rogen.
I don't know that your team ever leaves the basement because they're all so fucking stoned.
Mine?
Except for Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Stoned?
Yeah, dude.
Elon.
Bruce Lee?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bruce was a cheaper.
Oh,
brother.
dude.
Opium.
The king.
High.
The
Higher
king.
than weed.
The
yeah,
king.
okay, you want to talk about my team and getting high?
Well, I have one stoner on my team.
You
brother.
have the stoner.
So?
You have the
That's me and
stoner.
him are getting high while the rest are infiltrating Area 51.
You guys like, that's hilarious.
What
Just
actual
storming the Area
benefit do any
51.
guys on your team have?
What do you
Like, what
mean?
actual benefit? Because Chuck Norris did not do the stunts Bruce Lee did. Jason Momoa is cool, but that's kind of
Sure.
it. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson will give you a motivational speech, and
Sure
Stephen
will.
Hawking's the only guy that can do anything, and he's in a wheelchair that would have to be carried by Dwayne "The Rock"
Stephen
Johnson.
Hawking plans the whole fucking thing, brother. He plans the whole attack.
Maybe Seth Rogen
And then
gets
my
the
minions,
aliens high.
My minions of Dwayne The Rock and Jason Momoa.
Momoa pick threw me off. Everything else on there, I'm down. Momoa pick, like, I love Jason
Momoa was going to be my number one, and then I was like, Chuck Norris is a great pick as well.
Matt Christopher, so
honestly-
happy we're talking about which team has the most stoners.
Well, we can all admit that it's not Josh's team.
Absolutely not. I wish that we had like fictional characters because
So there is a
man.
topic that we have not breached yet where aliens are invading the planet and you have to pick your 5 fictional characters. We've done it before. We'll revisit
one
that.
of the best drafts of all time.
Yeah.
Let's do that again because that's going to be I mean, I wasn't there, so we have to do it again.
You were there.
I was there?
Yeah.
When the fuck was I there?
It was the first draft day you were on. When draft day was a podcast.
Oh, when it was just a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even remember who I picked.
Yeah,
Did I pick a Dragon Ball character? I hope
You sure did.
Okay.
You had
Better
Goku.
have.
Oh, yeah.
You had Goku, I had Vegeta.
That makes sense. Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just because it's not visual. I'm a visual learner.
Is that what your teachers always told you?
Yeah, they did. He sees things better when we draw
Oh
them
my
as
God.
opposed to listening. He can't do that very
These
well.
things are better when we do it for.
All right, let's wrap this up and go home.
Ladies and
This is the longest one ever.
Oh, yes. It's
Yeah.
an hour and 35 minutes.
Fuck yeah, it is. This is the idiot hour and a half you are home.
I am.
That's the best part.
All right. We gotta have a thigh cam because I can't deal with him talking to me the whole second. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sitting through this with us. Matt, thank you for chatting along, Maddie,
Thanks,
Sid, Austin,
Mom.
everyone that jumped in. Thank you guys very much. You can always watch the Idiot Hour. This was one of our more fun episodes. We will see you next week, same time, only an hour.
Same bad
I'm gonna
time.
go have nightmares about lizard people.
Ooh, Britney Spears and what's the Rosen's?
Eisenhower.
Stein?
That's my guy. He's protecting me all night.
Oh, man.
I don't think your eyes changed color. All right, thank you guys for watching the Idiot Hour. We'll see